Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another CIL Formula College Series. I am your host of tonight, Edward Sanchez, followed by my co-commentator,
Sky Shrek from Oklahoma University.
And tonight we are going to have a load of fun because tonight we are back for another season of Formula College in the CIL universe. And tonight, I am so excited because, Sky, I'm not sure if you heard, we got a record number of registration. Like, I've never seen these numbers. Right now we have it where people might go home because they couldn't make it on speed. I mean, like, we didn't have this. Well, we had a great amount of participants last semester, I must say, but this semester, I mean, even with the introduction of the Indy cars once again for the CIL FC series, I mean, your thoughts on that, Sky? Like, how exciting this is gonna be?
Yeah, this is all different this season. I mean, we've got new cars for the IndyCar. we've got a new race format. Instead of doing 2 sprint races, it's just 1 long race to the finish. We got new tracks. We're putting ovals on the schedule for the first time ever. And we've got all new schools and new sponsors signing up for Formula College as well. It's going to be a season to remember, not just for Formula College, but for the CIL as a whole. And I think we're really looking forward to how all these drivers do in the race tonight.
I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth because I am just excited. Like today was my, don't get me wrong, today was a not so okay day. Today was my first day back at school, but then I realized we're back on for Formula College. And I mean, I could not be as much excited as you are because not only are we going to have one long race, I mean, you know, I haven't really thought this through in terms of like strategy because like we've done this in the past with last semester when we had the super formula cars and we had 2 sprint races in which that was really, it's a sprint to the end, right? Like we had no pit stops, we didn't have no fuel calculation, we didn't really have strategy in the mix. So really it was just survive turn 1 and, you know, hopefully a Leaf wrecks in it because he's just gonna get away with the win. But now tonight we're gonna see where the drivers are actually gonna have to be really well in their tire management, and with a longer race means a little bit of more, you know, surprise. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen because this is going to be our first time running in these cars with iRacing having these models refreshed since the last time we raced IndyCar in the CIL FC series. And I mean, it's just, and would you want to do the honors of telling our viewers what we're going to be racing on tonight?
Yeah, we've got the Indy cars and we're taking them up to Wisconsin for Road America for the Clash tonight. Not a regular season points race. It's an exhibition here for everybody to try out this new car, get it rolling, see how it works for them. And it's a bit of a longer track, but we're running less laps. It's 25 laps tonight around Road America. Some of the big drivers from last season, guys like R. Muhammad Alif and Jordan Johnson, who had this ability to just kind of run away with it over the course of a race. I think they've both posted in the Discord channels recently that neither of them have ran any laps with the IndyCar before a couple days ago. So, I mean, the field's wide open here. We could see one of those drivers that we usually see up front make a run and take a pretty expected win, or we could see a new driver or an underdog driver, someone who kind of struggled in the Super Formula car, break through and grab a win tonight at Road America. It's going to shake everything up, and it's going to be really exciting.
And I was just about to mention that. I mean, I actually spoke to Alif 2 nights ago, and I was asking him, like, hey, bud, like, how are you with the Indies? He's like, I've never ran it. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I thought this is going to be a Ball State 1, 2, 3 again. But looks like with this new introduction of the IndyCar, you know, mixing it up from last semester's Super Formula, we're going to have a lot of surprises tonight to really see. And like you said, tonight is a clash. It's a non-points paying race. So it's a good way for us to really kind of see the field, who's going to be really driving up in the front, whereas the midfield, you know, the battle of the mid, like where is it going to be at? And then who's going to be in the back, unfortunately, wrecking out. We'll see all that tonight at Road Atlanta. And speaking of Road Atlanta, I mean, Scott, you want to get us into our schedule?
Yeah, our schedule for the upcoming races here in the CIL. We've got ovals on the schedule. I mean, that's a first for us here in Formula College. We're going to Laguna Seca next week, and then we've got something I'm really excited for. Nashville Super Speedway might be my favorite track in all of iRacing, and I'm so excited for us to go there. We're bringing an Indy 250 to the CIL. We've got a Formula College race around the Indy road course. I mean, some street courses making a move onto the schedule here. Belle Isle, Montreal was a ton of fun in the Cup Series last year. We're even going to Chicago. I mean, this schedule takes us all over the place to all sorts of racetracks, and it's going to be a new experience for a lot of these drivers, not just these ovals, but some of these tracks like Chicago that we didn't see run last season.
And I want to really say that one I am so excited for. I mean, I did do Montreal in the Cup car, and I do not wish to do that ever again. But in the Indy car, it's going to be one hell of a race to watch. But Indy Oval, I mean, Sky, that's like one of the most premier tracks with this car package. I mean, like, it's, for me, I'm going to treat it like the Indy 500, even though it's not. But, I mean, obviously, patent pending, we got to make our own CIL Indy. I don't know. We'll see who's going to sponsor it. But then again, all I got to say is this schedule has everything that you want if you're an oval guy, but also interested in road racing, or if you're in road racing and you don't like oval, well, I could for sure tell you it's gonna be a wild run. And tonight we're gonna start off with the classic Road Atlanta for the Clash. And I mean, I'm so sorry. Road America, that's on me. Thank you for that, Sky, and that's why you're here in the booth tonight. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you all for everybody tuning in right now for the first, I'd say, yeah, the first race of the season for the FC CIL. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed throughout this, throughout the semester, but throughout the race tonight, because it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to go into some kind of analysis of our track tonight here. Road America up in Wisconsin. It's a pretty long track compared to a lot of the ones we're running. 4 miles, 6.5 kilometers for a total of 14-ish turns. Opened all the way back in 1955. It's a track with a lot of history. Run very often in NASCAR, IndyCar, all these American road racing series. Pit speed limit's going to be 35 miles an hour, pretty slow, especially going up that very fast main straight. So it's a pit road that might take a little bit of time for these drivers to get down. It could shake up some strategy calls if we see people on it. And the first time we ran it here in the Formula College Series was just last year, 2023. That's fall 2023 for season 9 of the CIL.
And I want to mention quickly while we have this up, I mean, focus on turn 1, because turn 1 I think is going to be the most hectic, especially on race restart, or really on the starts. We're going to see a lot of dive bombs into turn 1, and especially into turn 5. I mean, where you see really those heavy braking zones, it's going to be one hell of a night for watching all these wheel-to-wheel battles, and hopefully no wreckers. But yeah, it's going to be really fun. And I mean, I think right now qualifying should be up soon, right?
I believe we've got about 3 or 4 minutes left in practice here, qualifying here, and then we'll be getting ready to take you to the grid and the qualifying for tonight's race. There's going to be a lot of chaos at this track. I mean, certain tracks, turns 8 through 10, that big run down through the kink in 11 down to 12, those are areas that tend to catch out the real-life Indy cars a lot, and we'll see if they catch out our Formula College here drivers as well tonight.
Exactly. They got to remember, this isn't a straight. It's, you know, a slight turn to the left, and whoever falls asleep, they're going to go straight into the grass. But I want to also talk about this before we really delve into this. Tires. I mean, we got to talk about the tire strategies, the different tires that they have, Sky, because I know, you know, as an oval guy, I know that there's always one type of tire. But tonight, with this car and this package, and of course, racing with IndyCar, what are we talking about in terms of like different strategies, but in terms of what tires are they allocated?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how these tires work. I'm an oval guy, but I have some experience with the IndyCar. I've run it a good bit through some fixed races. And the tires really do mix things up, whether you're on that softer alternate or the usually preferred harder primary tire. It can really make a difference. And I think the strategy for this race in a lot of ways is going to come down to which tire you're on at which time and how that's going to work out for you. We're watching Andrew Burrell make laps here. I believe he's on that red primary tire, but his tires are orange all the time, so it's a bit harder to tell for him. He's working down the hill right here. He's going to go into a pretty fast left-hander and absolutely send it into the mulch. But he'll get it back on. Didn't hit anything. No damage done, and Burrell will continue on his way.
But I did want to say, I mean, so we can get this right now. I mean, are we calling them primary alternates or like prime and options? Like, we gotta set the rules here. I mean, I don't want to confuse the audience.
I think we're gonna go red. I think we're gonna go alternate. I think we're gonna go black's the primary.
All right, so blacks and reds. All right, I can go with that. I can go with that. Now, Clay Halterman, he has just towed back, but we're right now watching Jordan Johnson, and folks, I like to say I'm excited to see this guy come back. And right now, the fastest lap. I mean, what do you expect? It's a Leaf with a minute and 44. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see how these two. I mean, we already know Jordan Johnson is one of the biggest contenders a Leaf really has on his radar, and we saw them go really clash head to head and wheel to wheel. If you remember, for your folks at home, Spa last semester, that was a crazy race. But we'll see now that Jordan Johnson is going to be hopefully running full time in the Indy for the FCCIL. And also, I mean, like I said, Alif doesn't really do IndyCar, so we'll see how that matches up. But I mean, right now, I do gotta say it's gonna be very interesting in terms of how these folks are gonna be kind of transitioning from Super Formula to IndyCar. While yes, they're both open wheel, but they're just so much different. And you know, all these drivers, of course, throughout the summer, they're preparing for it and getting ready. And
Jordan Johnson. I mean, I was the lead caster for the college prototype challenge last semester that's since been replaced with the collegiate sports car challenge. Different format there. But Jordan Johnson was the title winner in that series last season, and pretty much every week, without fail, that they were in the race, the top two was Jordan Johnson P1, or Muhammad Alif P2. And a lot of tracks like Interlagos gave us just these super exciting battles for almost the entire race of just Alif stalking Johnson, trying to find a way around. But Jordan Johnson, if you're going to learn in this series, is really, really good at defending. And he was just able to hold Alif off all the time and make those races really interesting. Well, he spins it there. So I think we're off to our first commentator's curse of the season, and it took us until practice of the duels. But come race time, I don't think he's going to be making that mistake. I think he'll be blasting around here and trying to win this race.
I mean, I think, wow, and I thought I was going to be the one to be the first commentator curse of the night. Folks, it's going to be Sky taking that title, and hopefully Jordan Johnson does not watch back the VOD because he will not be happy. But then again, you know what that means, Sky? We are so back. I mean, you cannot have CILFC without commentators curse. So you already know we're so back, and of course, it's gonna be now coming to grid, I believe, right now. Is that correct?
I believe we are doing a quick 5-minute warm up before we get to the grid. I'm pretty sure that is what they posted, but we do have the results from qualifying here. We can go over your grid for tonight in the clash at Road America. We'll get that pulled up for you here shortly as we take a look down the front stretch. On pole tonight, as you know, you might expect, it's our Muhammad Alif from Ball State University, but a surprise contender to his outside, it's Jake Cummings from Converse.
Well, if you want to round out the top 10, and I'll
round top 10. All right, third place we've got David Da Silva, new driver from Montclair State University, and to his outside will be University of North Texas's Edwin Onofre. He was the prototype champion in the alumni class last year. Alexander Diamond of Drexel, great result for him, qualifying 5th. Clint Halterman from UNC Charlotte will take 6th. Diamond may be a driver that could benefit from this switch to the IndyCar this season. Ricky Paz of East Carolina University will roll off 7th, and Ryan Whitlock, always a contender in these road races, will roll off 8th from the University of Alabama at Huntsville. Now starting in 9th, second Ball State driver in the field, it's Lucas Moody, and out to his outside, another Drexel car in the top 10, Jason Wallet.
And rounding about outside of the top 10 is Aiken Lamar from Howard Community College in 11th place, and Andrew Burrow starting on the outside with him in 12th for Clemson University. Row number 7 is going to be Jordan Johnson, who, you know, we were hyping up. He's going to be starting from P13 for Kent State University. We'll see what kind of drive he has for tonight to get back up there. And on his outside is going to be Alex Fernetti for UNC Charlotte. Alex Fernetti. On next row is going to be Nicholas Pantanella for Robert Morris University. And on his side is going to be Nick Henley from Ball State University, a new Ball State University coming in for his debut. And it's going to be John Lafon for Pennsylvania College of Technology in P17, and our very own Zachary Lindler of California University in P18. And in P19, Dylan Batsey of Ball State University, a new Ball State, making his debut of CILFC. And joining him is Andrew Williams of Clemson University. And outside of the top 20 is going to be Ethan Decatur of Valparaiso. I'm so sorry.
Valparaiso University.
Yeah, rounded it about, Sky.
Mark Turek is going to roll off 22nd for the Penn College of Technology. And right behind him, our last car in the field tonight, P23, it's Nick Stockner of Clemson.
I mean, Sky, what was that top 10? I mean, that was like a Kurt's top 10 of last semester. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I'm excited to see all these new folks here, new faces, new drivers, but did we just see Jake Cummings in second place? I mean, I know the man has been working hard over the summer, and I actually spoke to him last week, and he was talking about how excited he was for the Indy car, a new season, and a new reset for him. And so for him, it's going to be a great night to start up in P2. And I mean, wow, what a lineup we have. I mean, this is insane. I'm excited. Can't this warm up like end sooner? Like, can't we just wrap this up? Can the admin?
New school for Jake Cummings too. He was in the alumni class last season. He's moved into the student class this season. He's going back to school for Converse University and getting a P2 on his debut for that school. This is going to be a very exciting race. As you can see, the cars kind of finishing their warm-up there on this big, wide view of the track. Race length, 25 laps, works out to 101.2 miles here. As mentioned, that pit road speed limit pretty low at 35 miles an hour, which is going to lead to a pit time of 30 to 33 seconds. Fuel window, 12 to 15 laps, means everybody's going to have to make at least one stop this race. Tire sets are unlimited, and you must use both the primary and the alternate. And with each driver running, I'd say about one pit stop. I think we'll see one run for each driver on the alternate and one run for each on the primary.
And this is what I was talking about. I'm so excited. It's the fact that we have different tire strategies going to have to come into play. And also another note, weather conditions today. So, well, in the sim, it's going to be June 9th at 1:45 p.m. That means that the track temps are right now kind of relatively cool at 79 degrees. Oh, no, it went up to 99 degrees Fahrenheit with an overcast. And remember, the wind can have an effect on these cars. So we have a 6 mile per hour in the coming towards the northeast with a 56% humidity and 74 Fahrenheit of sunlight. Now, how do you say that in Celsius for our folks in Europe? There it is. Thank you so much. 23 Celsius, 37 Celsius for track temp, and with a 9 kilometer per hour northeast. And I mean, right now they are going onto the grid. I cannot wait. Oh, it just increased to 12. Well, it's getting windy out there.
It's getting windy out here.
And it's gonna get squirrely up in here because right now we have the pace car lights off, of course. Right now, if folks who are coming from maybe last semester, we are not doing a standing start. We'll be doing a rolling start as IndyCar does it. So it's going to be a little bit different here. Instead of lights out, it's green flag is out, which I, as an oval guy, I'm so excited to say those words. So as the cars are now rolling down, it's just, I believe, turn 11, 11A, right? And 12. So this part is where folks are going to have to really remember they got to turn that wheel to the left, and just like oval. But to really keep it on the track, because it's going to be a very interesting battle here. I mean, Sky, who do you put your money on? Like, who are your ones to watch in this race apart from Alif? Because I think that's everyone's list.
Yeah, I was gonna say Alif. I want to just point out Alexander Diamond. 5th place is a really, really good effort for him, and I think he's one of those drivers that might really be benefiting from the switch from Super Formula to IndyCar. Both Drexel cars kind of doing better than you'd usually expect out of them in this qualifying. But we're gonna head out now. This pace car is gonna head away down the front straightaway. Take him away, Edward.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another awesome season of FCCL. As the green flag is out, the cars are going up the hill, down the straightaway. It is green flag, and away we go, folks. As the CAL we are so back for Formula College right now, side by side, the leaders as Alif and Jake Cummings. Jake Cummings seems to be like having a good run on the outside, but he does not. He's going to go wide, and some cars in the back are going to also hit the grass, but all in all, and we have some cars up in the gravel, but mostly to almost top 20, I think. Got away, Skate 3 is right now a battle for first. I think that's Jake Cummings in the lead. Yes, as Alif tries to make the run on the inside right now, down through the straightaway. Looks like Clint Halterman from P6 up into P4, but it looks like we're going to get a caution flag. And folks, it is a wild start, but as you can see, those red tires, they matter a lot. As we see, Jake Cummings is in the lead with those red tires, and Alif opting for those black tires. But whoa, unfortunately, the first one of the night that's out, it's Lamar for the 94 car. He is currently crab walking, as they say, down the straightaway. Looks like he has a front left tire kind of bent inwards, it looks like.
Yeah, front is this? I believe this is a full course yellow, which would mean we've had some kind of very serious incident back there that would have brought this out. Aiken Lamar, clearly involved, is kind of drifting that car around the racetrack. He is three-wheeling that thing. That left front tire is not on the ground as he turns it. It's crab walking bad. We're going to get a replay and kind of see what happened here. It was at the back of the field. Yeah, it was behind these cars. Lamar's already in the mulch. You could kind of see the disappearing cars in the field as we went back, as we went down the hill there. A bunch of cars stuck behind. So this was on the start. This is on the start going through turn 1, which you identified as a bit of a problem zone. Checking up, the 4 car tries to send it through the middle there. Aiken Lamar is on the inside. We're 3 wide. We're going to get slow motion as we head down in here. They're 3 wide behind Aiken Lamar as well. And we're going to see what happens.
We saw that 4 car kind of, the 4 car kind of hit the grass a little bit, and he's trying to go sideways. And then Lamar deciding to take the shorter way around.
Oh, they're already wrecking.
They just started spinning out of control. I mean, it looks like when Aiken Lamar was taking that inside lane, I think maybe he just ran out of road. I think when you make that down into turn 1, there's a little bit of a slight to the left, then to the right, and that's what caused him to get in the grass. And I think everyone else saw him into the grass and anticipating him losing control, and obviously all of them trying to correct themselves and try to watch out. And I think
hit Jordan Johnson, by the way. That car that he crashed into, that was Jordan Johnson. So that is major implications for the lead of this race.
I mean, that might be true. Jordan Johnson might have issues out here, but hey, who's in front right now is Jay Cummings with those red tires. I mean, you saw him. You saw them two battling it out. Jay Cummings on the outside of Alif, holding it down and making that pass seem like it was nothing. I mean, folks, we have a contender tonight. I can say that for sure. But I mean, we're trying to get word to see if Jordan Johnson is capable of coming back.
He's the 4 car there that got smoked by Aiken Lamar. I want to know who is kind of spinning out further back there. What led to this contact?
So it looks like the 4 car goes in front of
Vortex cars.
Yeah, it looks like when the 4 car, when he came all the way across back from the grass, it looks like it caused that checkup, and that was just a domino effect, unfortunately. But remember what I said earlier, folks, it's turn 1. You just have to be careful down there. It could be a blessing and it could be a crutch, because clearly all these guys, I mean, some of these guys, wow, what a pass through there right before the finish line. I mean, I don't know if that's a penalty, but he made the pass beautifully, trying to avoid them because they didn't get onto speed and they kind of fell asleep. But I mean, right there, you see the 94 just absolutely try to cut through the grass. But I mean, hey, once you hit that grass, there's no traction. So unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a rough night there for the 94. He's probably, I believe he is out of the race right now.
Yeah, a couple of these cars further back in the field, they either don't yet have their college paint schemes, or they're new schools with a new car and a new number, and we're still working out who's who, especially the ones that do not have their college paint scheme on for this preseason race. So we've got Muhammad Alif now, notably in second in this race, behind that first car of Jake Cummings as the pace car takes him around on lap 2, and hopefully we can get a cleaner try the next time around.
Yeah, right now the pace car lights are still on. I'm wondering if it will go out and then we'll get going this lap. But I mean, yeah, as you said, for the folks at home, we are going to try our best to see which cars is who. I mean, this is the clash, so of course some people don't have their paints on. We'll definitely have that finalized by next week. So just a warning for y'all folks, we might just say the numbers instead of the names, as we can try our best. But thank you, Sky, for pointing that out.
Yeah, I don't own Road America on iRacing. I'll be 100% honest with you.
Understandable.
I mean, you can see some of the paint schemes in the field. You got the Alabama Huntsville car. You've got both of those blue and yellow Drexel cars looking good as always. And then further back, you've got cars that are just black with a number that it's like, I will give them a week.
Of course, of course. I mean, we just gotta let them do their own thing. I mean, yeah, right now it looks like we are not going green this time around. The green flag is not out yet. So it looks like we might do another round about, because right now we are on board with Dylan Batty. Oh, and we're back on the pace car. But I mean, as you can see right now, think about this right now, Sky. This kind of helps out Jay Cummings here, because with those reds, it's really quick. It's got the grip, but it's a soft tire, which means it's gonna die out real quickly. While the black tires that Leaf will have will be able to run a lot longer than Jake. But all these pacing laps, I mean, this really helps out Jake right now, right?
I mean, especially the fact that he's going to restart this race in the lead. He's got control as we head back to the green flag. And that's probably the best thing he can have, because our Muhammad Ali is going to have to make a move pretty early here, I'd like to imagine. If he maybe not has to make a move, but he's very much going to want to make a move to get himself back up front in case anything happens here later on in this race. So Jake Cummings is in an advantageous position and a chance to grab a pretty rare Formula College victory for him. And we'll just have to see when this race goes green, how this plays out between him and a Leaf.
And remember, it's a debut for him, especially for his college, and running as a student again. It's coming back to his roots. I mean, what kind of Cinderella story would this be if he comes out on top of this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some people with Converse University watching this who are excited to see their new driver in the lead as the lights on the pace car are going to go off. So we're going to be going green this time around after about 2 laps yellow. That'll put us green on lap 4 out of 25 with 22 left to get in this race.
And remember, I mean, like you said, a Leaf needs to get this run in on the first turn, because remember, it's a long straightaway, but also the front leader can get on the gas a little bit quicker. I mean, we'll see who has the better, I should say, reflexes here. As like I said, right now, if you see folks on the left side of your screen right there, the S for softs, the H for hards, and right now throughout the field, you see only really only 5 drivers opted to start out with the softs, and all of them are starting on the hards. So I wonder how this is gonna play out, especially for people with the softs. Seeing all this pacing laps help them cool their tires, make them last longer into the run. I mean, oh man, this is gonna be fun. As right now the car, we're currently I think 2 turns away from getting this show on the road, and I just cannot wait, because turn 1, I'm just anticipating. I have a feeling something is gonna happen, but I'm not gonna say it right now because we're just gonna watch what happens.
I'm looking at the bottom end of this ticker here. So we got 5 cars out of the race. Aiken Lamar is out. Jordan Johnson, contender not just to win this race, but for the whole championship here, out of the race as well. Nick Henley and Nicholas Patinella, both on debut in this series, go out on lap 1, and Zach Lindler, who is kind of at the back of that field in the chaos, is retired as well. So we got 5 cars out of the race before we even really got it going, and Andrew Burrell probably took some damage because he's a lap down there as well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of contenders out of the race, unfortunately, but I mean, records are checkers, right? Gotta go for the win, and looks like someone is gonna try and go for the win, and that's Jay Cummings in the 95 car for Converse, as right now we are about to go green. I mean, oh my god, I'm so excited, because right now it is, the revs are going. Here we go. Right now, pace car going in to the pit road, and we are green flag. And here we go as Jay Cummings is starting. We'll see until the leader starts to go. And it is going to be green flag. And here we go again, racing at Road America, as Jay Cummings is still in the lead. A Leaf trying to get the draft on the back, but looks like it's Davis De Sevilla. He's gonna go on the run on the inside. He's gonna go down into turn 1, forcing a Leaf go wide. A Leaf retains the 2nd place, but now Jay Cummings, he's pulling away. He loves to see that. He's saying, David, keep him up. Right now in 3rd still, trying to put pressure on a Leaf and using those softs as a Leaf. Right now, as you see that red arrow. That means that they're using the push to overtake or the push to pass. As right now, a Leaf trying to hold off David, but it's not going to be much, as DeCilia is trying to go in deep into the corners. Like I said, those softs are going to be killing a Leaf right now. And once again, Jay Cummings pulling away with the 6/10 lead. Yeah,
David De Silva, a new driver to this series. This is his debut tonight, and he's got that thing working in third, and now he's going to try a move on Muhammad Alif up the inside. They're going to come out side by side, and on the switchback, Alif is going to have the inside through here, but De Silva has the run. He's going to make a move around Muhammad Alif on the outside, using those alternate tires to his advantage, and he'll steal second away for right now.
But Alif is not over yet, folks. This is turns 11A right now, down through the backstretch right here. As Alif looking on his left side, he's almost there, but not enough. As Cecilia, he's going to run into the curb. He actually took a little bit of the grass there. What a madman as he's retained P2. But look who's behind. Clint Halterman. He's lurking behind Alif as right now we're going down to turn 14. Up we go, up the hill, down the straightaway right now as Clint Halterman is prowling right now. He's got it right now, 160 miles per hour, 170. Can he make the pass right now? As you see, push overtake is on. Can he go on the inside? He's thinking about it. He's there. He's going to look to the left. Oh, but at last minute, he's going to decide to keep in fourth place. I mean, I would have went on the inside if I was him. But a well-decided effort right there for Clint Halterman for UNC Charlotte.
Edwin Onofre made a move up for fifth. He got around Ryan Whitlock on those alternate tires, and now he's on the better tires. He's going to be able to make a run on Clint Halterman, who's got the push-to-pass going, trying to get Muhammad Alif. And they are side by side down the straightaway. It's Muhammad Alif. It's Clint Halterman. Alif on the inside through the corner. He'll run Halterman a little wide, and he'll hold the spot for now. Halterman not quite giving up, but he'll have to drop back. And now we get to see Edwin Onofre, who's on these faster alternate tires. He's up to the back of this train of cars. And can he make a move through and make it an all-alternate tire podium?
I mean,
those tires have done really well early in this race. I mean, you got the two leaders, Cummings and De Silva, on those alternates. Onofre on the alternates there in fifth. It's Ricky Paz who's gained spots on them in seventh, and Dylan Beatty, the last car on that alternate strategy, running back in 11th.
But remember, Dylan started and he restarted P13, so he's also on the move in P11. So once again, it's how good these tires are. And right now, Edwin Onofre, he's going deep into the corners. He's trying to get a better lunge here towards Clint Halterman. It looks like Clint Halterman went a little bit wide right there. Edwin trying to set up the pass here as once again Clint Halterman. Wow, what a racing. I mean, right now we're going up the hill right now, going down into turn one. It looks like Edwin's gonna get the run. He's going on the right side. Can he make it a two pass right here? Right now, side by side, is currently Clint Halterman and Edwin Onofre. As right now, down into turn one. Is he gonna lunge it in? No, he's not, but he's gonna make the overtake. A beautiful pass for P4.
See these guys who are kind of on this softer tire using a lot of that push to pass. You saw Onofre on it to make that move on Clint Halterman. Ryan Whitlock was on the overtake button there. And now Edwin Onofre is going to get on the overtake again, but he's trying. This time he's not trying to attack. This time he's trying to get away from Clint Halterman.
And yeah, as we see, he's currently using all that push to pass right there to defend on the inside. Oh, and they nearly made contact. As Clint Halterman has to go a little bit extra wide right there. But Edwin Onofre, once again, holding off P4, but slowly Alif on those hard tires. I mean, I think by now, the hards are kind of getting back into it. I mean, these folks on these softs, they can go on for so long because they're pushing it, they're gunning it so hard. And right now, Clint Halterman, a little bit squirrely there off the corner, but he's trying his best to stay in that draft, and he's currently also being stalked by Ryan Whitlock.
Yeah, I mean, Whitlock's going to move up, and now Ricky Paz, who's back in seventh, is on those softer tires. He's going to be trying to enter this battle from back in seventh with Alexander Diamond. Not really able to keep up with him as of yet on those harder tires. A couple cars further back, you can see with the red on the screen, they're using that push to pass. It's Jason Wallet who's going to use it to make a move on John LaFon for ninth. And it's Ricky Paz who's going to try to use those softer tires to make a move on Ryan Whitlock and Clint Halterman for fifth and sixth, respectively, as we watch this line of cars train each other up the hill, trying to get some kind of toe going on each other and trying to make moves. Ricky Paz, yeah, as that says, he runs this league. He's the series director of this thing. So he's kind of got to make a good impression. He's got to get these spots to beat the guys he's the boss of.
And he, as we saw, as we were giving praise, he hits a little bit of the grass. So let's hold back on the compliments a little bit here before we fully make someone crash out. But you're exactly right. Ricky Paz Ricky Paz, he's our FC director, a great man to talk to and get to know with. I mean, currently running P7 really well, but I do want to point out something. David Da Silva, he is currently in P2, but he is currently lapping faster than Jay Cummings that last time around, 5/10 faster. So it could be said that maybe Jay Cummings is currently trying to manage his tires and Da Silva is trying to get to him. But right now, with 7 out of 25 laps completed, I mean, when do you expect the pit road to happen?
I mean, fuel window is about 12 to 15. I don't imagine we're going to really see any before halfway. I think it's going to take around lap 13 to 14 here is when we're going to see a big rush of cars on pit road. They can go a little longer here with that caution that we had earlier in the race, but I am kind of imagining that these cars are going to want to try come down a bit later so that they can get the best out of their alternate tires, with many of the drivers still having those alternate tires in the pits waiting for them when they do make the move down pit road.
Of course, and I did want to mention last lap around, Alif matched the time as David Da Silva. So currently, Alif is actually on pace with Da Silva. So one could say that Alif is also coming back around to this race. But as we see right now, the time frame right there with Jake Cummings and Da Silva, it is currently less than a second right now, or a second here and there, but it is really, the fight is on with these softs, with Jake Cummings and David Da Silva trying to fight out for that P1, with the Leaf trying to hold on with those hards. And soon enough, remember, we're gonna switch alternates soon enough when the pit window happens. So Leaf gonna go on the reds, and Cummings and Da Silva gonna have to go on the hards.
It's not just that, we might be approaching a bit of a crossover point in the run here with the Leaf getting that speed. The point where the red tires start to wear out. They wear faster than the primary tires. So if they start to wear out quicker, you're gonna see cars like a Leaf make time on these drivers like Onofre, Da Silva, and Cummings, who have all rocketed up the timing table on that softer compound. And it's gonna be interesting to see if those cars are able to keep pulling away, or if we get to a bit of a crossover point where they're struggling. Elise has made a mistake, I think, and Edwin Onofre is caught right up to his bumper here.
I was about to say, it looks like a Leaf actually took a corner really wide, and he had to get off the gas really quickly and for too long, because now Edwin Onofre is currently tracking him down through the S's here in the back, and currently just trying to make a room. But I mean, a Leaf putting up a spectacular defending right there, as Edwin has nowhere to go. And Edwin also oversteered right there. He oversteered a little bit off the corner there, nearly spinning it out, but has a good control over it, and back on really, I should say, on the back of a Leaf, still trying to get on him. As right now, out of turn 14, up the hill, down into turn 1, as we complete our 8th lap. It's once again, I mean, it's really interesting, because I've never seen a Leaf do a mistake like that. So, like I said, IndyCar, it is a new track. I should say it's a new car on an old track, a classic track, but you know, you could still get cut off really badly in these circuits.
Yeah, Edwin Onofre, we're getting the in-car angle, and you can see how much of a beast this Indy car is to drive. He rockets it down the straightaway. He's going to get all the way upwards of 180, towards 190 miles an hour here down the straightaway, and you'll see it as he comes down to the turn, how much you have to slow down and how quickly that car does slow down from about 181 all the way down to about 60 miles an hour to hit that turn. These cars are intense. They're one of the fastest cars on the surface, really, and they are just a blast, not just around Road America, but around really every track we go to. David Da Silva's cutting a bit into Jake Cummings' lead here. You can see that gap has gone down. It was about 1.5 seconds. He's got it down to about 8/10. Great run on debut for David Da Silva, but you see our Muhammad Alif a little faster when he's not making mistakes, and that kind of continues with some of these other cars. Clint Halterman's coming back to Edwin Onofre, and Ricky Paz is starting to fall off the back of Ryan Whitlock. So these cars who are on these alternate tires are starting to slip, and somebody almost lost it right there. I'm not 100% sure who that was, but somebody almost ended up in a ditch.
But they completely saved it. And one thing to note is our most positions gains is the CIL biggest mover of the night goes to Mark Turk, up to 11th spots. I mean, this man started on P22 on that restart. He's up to P11. So right now, Mark Turk trying to get into top 10. So he's trying to make it into the points. And Nick Stockner, 9 positions up. As we saw, he started in the back of the field and now up into P14, followed by John LaFon up 8 positions. Our very own Drew Williams up 5 positions, and Ethan up by 4. I mean, right now, all these folks are currently on the move, and they're on the hards. So it goes to show that, as you said, we are currently at a turning point, that these reds, they're slowly going to start falling off.
Yeah, Ricky Paz has lost about a second since I talked last. I mean, he was at about 5.8. He's down to about 6.5, 6.7 here, depending on the part of the racetrack. In that East Carolina University car, he's another driver similar to Jake Cummings, making the transition from alumni back to student at a new school, moving from I believe he was at Valparaiso last season, moving to East Carolina University. New school for him, new number for him in the student class. He's our series director for the first time as well, replacing Zach Lindler. And yeah, good showing for him. P7 right now. He's got about a 7-second gap to Alexander Diamond behind him.
Yeah, and I want to mention right now, once again, David Da Silva is currently tracking Jake Cummings down. He just got another 3/10, but also, I think Jake's tires, he's kind of going a little bit. Looks like David is managing his tires really well, and I've been watching Jake for the last couple of turns. He's just been not hitting the apex really as much, but David is throwing it in there and trying to get every inch of the circuit. As right now, drivers are currently, I think somebody went into the pits. Or that's just my eye playing on me. Yes, no, Edwin is going into the pits. Looks like he's going to be the first one down in pit road.
Yeah, I think he recognizes it's getting to be a bit of a crossover point with this alternate tire. Guys like a Leaf are speeded up. He was losing time to a Leaf. He was losing time to Clint Halterman behind him. Ricky Paz has lost like 3 seconds over the last lap. So I think he's realizing that, and he's going to make a move down pit road. Alexander Diamond, however, kind of on the exact opposite strategy, where he started this race on the hard tires, and he's going to come down a little early to make a move onto the soft. Dylan Beatty in as well. He was another one of those cars on the alternate tires, making the early pit stop to get himself onto the hards for the rest of this race.
Yeah, and one thing to note, I mean, yeah, it's the opposite, but remember, he's trying to undertake on people. He's currently trying to get in the pits, get those fresh reds, and try to make the use out of it on his outlap and try to overtake people. As right now we see him kind of squirreling it around, trying to put some heats in the tires. I mean, that's a fancy way of doing it. But one thing to note right now, our Muhammad Ali, he is currently gaining on the leaders. He just gained a whole second in that half of a lap. So right now we might see Jake Cummings and David Da Silva going into the pits to try to get those blacks, because right now, I mean, if I was Jake's crew chief right now, I'd be telling him, go in now. Those reds are done for the night. We got to get those blacks on right now.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at a car like Alex Diamond, who just had that massive smoke show coming off pit road there. That's probably the absolute last thing he wants. I mean, these tires are fragile. We saw them start to fall off in only about 7 or 8 laps of green flag running for cars like Cummings and Da Silva. Burning them up that much, leaving your pit stall, was going to leave you really, really lacking by about lap 24 in this race. But we'll see if the undercut can get him far enough ahead to where that strategy could still work out for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You see that the 2 leaders on the alternates, they decided to stay out on another lap, and our Muhammad Ali is right there behind David Da Silva. He is currently only almost less than almost a second now, trying to get into them, trying to get towards them, I should say. But the fact is that I think it's time to get those blacks on. I think those red tires are had enough. Right now, as you saw, that right now John LaFon is currently in the pits. He is currently going to go on the red tires, so he's going to be trying to make up some ground and try to get into top 10.
Another driver pulling that overcut. I think we need to be playing the Jaws theme up front, because our Muhammad Ali on those hard compound tires is reeling those 2 in. Jake Cummings and David Da Silva are on limited time. Our Muhammad Ali has pushed it about a second over the last lap or 2, and as those soft tires continue to expire, he is rapidly moving through the field. I do not think it's going to be long before we see a pit stop out of both Cummings and Da Silva and Ricky Paz back in 6th to get themselves off those soft tires onto the hards, so hopefully they can salvage some of this pace with a bit of an earlier pit stop. Leaf up the hill. He's still in pursuit. We're going to come past the pit lane here. This is back out onto the front stretch. We're going to see De Silva almost loses it. He stays out on track, and instead, it's Muhammad Alif who's going to be the first one making the pit stop, and he is going to get from the hards to the softs, and he's going to try and get the undercut going halfway through this race.
I mean, I don't know about this guy. It's going to be Alif going to be the first one in for the top 3, which means he's going to have a spectacular outlap on those reds, which honestly is going to be really easy for him to do. And we'll see if Jake Cummings and De Silva is gonna retaliate this and come in on the next time around, because I think they have no options.
I think those tires are very rapidly falling off, and even Clint Halterman, who's a little further back there in third, has really put the burners on and come after them. David De Silva back in second. Oh, Alif shaking it to warm those tires up. David De Silva's lost about half a second to Jake Cummings, and we saw him almost lose it a couple times. Oh my goodness, Muhammad Alif gets killed by Edwin Onofre.
Folks, that is a tough sight to see right there, as we saw Alif getting out there. But I mean, one thing to note, folks, he came out on cold tires, and you saw him defend into turn 1, try to block Edwin's his racing line. But when he came out of turn 1, it looks like Alif, he kind of spun the tires in the grass, and with those cold tires, he couldn't get them up to speed. And Edwin, not expecting him to really drop off in speed that quickly, clipped him on the back right side, and your leader, or potential leader, I should say, is out of the race.
That's 2 drivers who we thought have a great chance to win the championship in this series who have crashed out of the clash. Edwin Onofre, he net-coded him. That is so rough for Muhammad Alif. Taken out by netcode from the front bumper of Edwin Onofre of the University of North Texas.
Hold on,
that is unfortunate for a car that had a really good shot to take the win today.
I know that we're focused on this, but right now the leaders are in the pits right now. David De Silva actually had an accident, caused him to lose it, and he didn't really get out, but he got out of shape, which gave Jake Cummings at least a second more in the lead. And so right now, Jake coming out with those black tires, David De Silva currently going in, and we have a new leader, Ryan Whitlock, in first place with those hards, but Clint Halterman still wanting to get up there and chase down Ryan Whitlock in second place with Jason Wallet. Around 14 seconds in the back. He still hasn't gotten his softs. He is in third. So that is our top 3, with Lucas Moody in 4th, Alex Ferniti in 5th, Andrew Williams in 6th, Nicholas Stockner in 7th, Jake Cummings, who is our leader technically, as currently is between Jake, Edwin, and De Silva.
Yeah, De Silva lost 10 seconds on that pit stop. Edwin Onofre's gotten around him here. We're going to take a look at a replay of what happened to De Silva. Yeah, what there you go. Save. Looped it off the corner. Those alternate tires gave up on him. We saw a couple times he was getting really loose, not just through there, but through that final corner as well. And it finally caught up to him. David De Silva around, and that is going to cost him about 10 seconds to the leader.
Yep, and one thing to note is, like I said earlier, that it was him trying to get toward Jake Cummings. I kept seeing him oversteer around the corner, just absolutely destroy those rear tires to the point where, as we saw there, he lost it. However, it's a good save, as right now you saw he kept it going, he didn't hit the wall, and David De Silva again in the grass. I mean, that is the world's most expensive lawnmower, but David, bro, I don't think that's what you're supposed to be doing. As right now, Drew Williams is going to go into the pits, which means he's been holding up Jake Cummings. And Jake Cummings goes on the inside, and they make contact. Jake Cummings has taken out Drew Williams, as I saw in the other monitor.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, folks, we didn't see that live on the stream, but I was looking out the window with my binoculars, and I saw Drew Williams. He was trying to get, he did say he was going to the pits, but Jake Cummings, he was not patient, and he went for the inside. However, this doesn't save for itself. Goodness. It did look like it was a net code. If we do see it from a different angle, I will say it was a net code incident, but we have left and right drivers going out of the race. Drew Williams looks like, as right now we are on board with Jake Cummings. And it looks like it was a net code at the beginning, and in the end, it would have just hit him. But we'll see what the race control says, because right now, Jake Cummings I don't see no damage on him right now. He's fine right now. His lap times are not really.
He lost part of a wing.
Yeah, it looks like it. It
Well,
does
he might
look
have got
like.
it back. It looked like it got net coded off.
Yeah, it looked like it was net coded off, but right now, the story of the night is for Converse University. Does he get a penalty? We shall see, as right now, Clint Halterman trying to get a rundown with Ryan Whitlock. But remember, folks, they have to go on the options. They have to go on the alternates, I should say. So we'll see if Clint Halterman will try to undercut Ryan Whitlock by going to the pits, and they're both going into the pits. What a chance. What a timing, as right now, Clint Halterman using all he can. He went to the back of him right there. Wow, and they're both like almost side by side.
Point out real quick, our 4 cars before those pit stops. Our race leader, Jake Cummings, just got in a crash with Andrew Burrell. Our second place driver, David De Silva, spun it right before the pit stop. Our third place driver, R. Muhammad Alif, got crashed out of the race by our fourth place driver, Edwin Onofre. So everyone in the top 4 before that pit stop has been involved in an incident since, and this has kind of been blown wide open. Jake Cummings still our first car on pit strategy, and with everybody else in the pits, you'll see him come around to the lead here. Edwin Onofre will try to follow him through, but he's not gonna. Ryan Whitlock and Clint Halterman make those tires work, and they'll come out second and third on the alternates. Well, Clint Halterman immediately sends it off, and he'll go down to 4th. But it's Ryan Whitlock in second on the alternates, chasing down Jake Cummings on the hards for the lead.
And I was going to mention, Edwin just swooped in, and he said, thank you very much. And he gets P3 right now. Oh, and we have currently another car going off wide. It's Andrew Burrell, who unfortunately decides to also do a little landscaping there and almost hits into another car, but he gets it going and he looks like he's okay. But one thing to note, folks, Jake Cummings, yes, he is in the lead, but we got to wait for race control to see the decision on that last, incident with Drew Williams. But Ryan Whitlock, he is going to retain P2. Edwin, who's currently on the hards, he's in P3, followed by Clint Halterman, who, as we mentioned, he's on the alternates. He did go off-road a little bit, but those tires are fresh. So Clint Halterman, I know he is impatient. He wants that podium. He has to get around Edwin sooner than later.
Yeah, I can't imagine Clint Halterman will stay behind Edwin Onofre very long here. He's on those alternate tires. He did go off track there and lose a bit of ground. Once he gets those tires warmed up, I have to imagine he's going to be right back in pursuit of Edwin Onofre for not just P3 in this race, but for the alumni win in this race as well. Edwin Onofre and Clint Halterman, the 2 highest scoring alumni at the moment in this race. And Clint Halterman won to take UNC Charlotte to the victory over North Texas for Edwin Onofre.
And with that, it's currently with 10 laps to go right here. Well, sorry, 9 laps to go as we are crossing the halfway mark. As right now, Clint Halterman looks like he's going to be overtaken by Edwin Onofre, and he's going to go leap into the first turn, and he gets P4. What a move, as right now, Edwin trying to catch up. I'm so sorry, Clint Halterman is trying to keep up right there in P3 with those alternates. So right now, Clint Halterman finally made the pass. As I said, he had to make it. If he stays behind Edwin, those tires with the dirty air, it's not going to last long enough. But right now, Clint Halterman in P3 looking for a podium, and for once, hopefully, does not end up in the grass.
Yeah, I think these drivers on the softs here, Whitlock and Halterman, have kind of played a really good strategy call here, because you saw them make those hard tires last basically as long as they could so that they could have less of a run on the softs. We've seen as you get about 9 or 10 laps into the run, those soft tires really start to die out on you. But not only do those cars get less laps total on those soft tires when they're worn out, but Jake Cummings pitted a couple laps earlier on those hards. So it's going to be those guys on 3-lap newer soft tires, and you can see how quickly they're gaining on that scoring monitor there. Ryan Whitlock's got that gap under 2 seconds, and that's a phenomenon that I don't think is just limited to this top 3. Ricky Paz is kind of the last car in that wall of drivers on hards there in 6th, and he is getting chased down quite rapidly by Jason Wallet and Lucas Moody behind the first 2 cars on that soft tire.
I was gonna say, you see all those softs, it's go time right now. It is hammer time. With 8 laps left in this race, it's currently a race to the end and a race of attrition for these folks on these hard tires to try to hold on. As we know, of course, Jake Cummings with the 3-lap old tires technically compared to Ryan Whitlock. He's currently tracking him down, but of course, right now, last lap, looks like Ryan Whitlock, a 145 flat, and Jake Cummings that last time around, 146.7.
You can see that gap is down. It was at 2.5. Now it's at, then it was at 2. Then it was at 1.5. And now Ryan Whitlock's got it down near a second. He is rapidly gaining on Jake Cummings, and it's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. As that car's got the gap down under a second, he's going to be in the lead here pretty soon if he can make the overtake.
That is true, but as long he is pushing hard, but remember, the faster you use these up, the quicker you overheat them, the less they're gonna last. And of course, we saw what happened with David Da Silva. He was pushing hard to try to keep up with Jake Cummings in that dirty air, and he spun out. Now, of course, right now, for Ryan Whitlock, for the 81 for University of Alabama Huntsville, it is going to be a great debut here in, well, I should say, for the first race of the season to really show that level of attrition and level of confidence going into the season. But of course, with 0.5 seconds away from Jake Cummings, we'll see how Jake Cummings is going to really use that dirty air to keep him behind.
That gap is down. It's under half a second. Ryan Whitlock is there. It might happen this lap. It might happen next lap. He's got the push to pass deployed. He is coming. If we can get the camera over to him, you're going to see him. He's within about 0.2 of a second down the straightaway. Here he is. Cummings moves to the inside to the fence. It's going to be Whitlock around the outside. They make contact. He's into the fence, and his race is over.
No. That's not how it's done, Jake. Unfortunately, that is going to be the day for Ryan Whitlock, as it looks like this is a repeat of Austria GP between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. With, in this case, Jake on the inside. He tried to go back on the outside to make the corner and pinch him on the left. But I don't think Ryan Whitlock was going to see that coming, as right now, Jake Cummings still in the lead. But as we see a replay here, Sky, I don't really think that Jake kind of defended wrong here. He did. Oh, man, he just barely gave him
Might have defended a bit wrong there.
Yeah, he pinched him too much where Ryan Whitlock had no more real estate. I mean, Sky, what do you give the verdict on that one?
I give a guilty on Jake Cummings. Should not have done that.
I mean, I would agree. I mean, Jake, come on, man. Unfortunately, it looks like Ryan is going to be out of the race, but once again, looks like Ryan got into lap traffic with Ricky Paz. Is right now over the radio. Not so nice words are really between drivers right now, as Ryan is still driving that thing around. He's in P6 still. What is going on?
He says wings? Who needs wings? I don't need either of them. And he's going to try and limp it back to the pits here in P6. So now our attention turns to Clint Halterman, who is the new second-place driver behind Jake Cummings. Now he's got the push to pass on, and now Clint Halterman is going to get that gap down to half a second. He's also on those alternate tires, and down the front straightaway, he's going to be the next one to have a try at Jake Cummings, and maybe Jake Cummings will be a little bit nicer after what happened to Whitlock.
I mean, we'll see.
He's in the grass.
It looks like he was in the grass. Clint Halterman trying his hardest to keep up. But remember, I tell you, the dirty air. One thing that Road America is known for are the twists and turns. But of course, in these cars, it doesn't get easy with that dirty air. As right now, Jake Cummings is going to look to defend on the inside as he forces Clint on the right side. And it looks like Jake Cummings is going to have the inside on this corner. And he's going to be able to save himself for another turn here. But Jake Cummings with the defense of the century right now. I mean, one could say maybe a little bit too much, but Clint Halterman once again struggling, as we see in the last two corners. He's getting that little bit of oversteer and understeer.
Hey, you're going to see him try to pursue here. Both drivers almost out of push to pass. Not a lot left for either of them. So if Clint Halterman can use it to get around, that might be his opportunity here. But he's going to have to get close enough to actually really make do with it here.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, it just looks like Jake Cummings. I mean, we'll wait for a word from the steward to see what's gonna happen at the end of this race. But I mean, right now the race is on. We got Jake Cummings duking it out with Clint Halterman, trying to hold off his P1 right now. But one thing to note right now is Edwin Onofre. Right now, he is currently trying to gain on them, but I don't know, with those hard tires, we'll see how long he can last. But right now, Jason Wallet, a man on the move, currently in P6, catching up with Ricky Paz.
Halterman's got the push to pass back on for second. There were 6 to go, 5 to go right now as they cross the line. Halterman is on the softer tires, but the question's going to be, does he wear them out? And the question's also going to be, what do the stewards have to say about both incidents for Jake Cummings, where he's gotten involved and crashed out another driver? We do not have live stewarding for this race, as it is the Clash. Don't believe there's anyone in the booth watching over us right now, but we will definitely have a word about that post-race, and we'll see if any penalties are potentially applied to Jake Cummings. That doesn't matter to Clint Halterman, though. He's not going to rely on a post-race penalty report like the one we had in the Cup Series, because I don't think it's going to be 4 pages long for Formula College. This is going to be his chance right here. He's going to get it done on the track if he gets it done at all.
Exactly. He wants to cross the line first, not just get a little tweet that says Jake Cummings receives 5-second penalty and he gets the win. No, he wants to be up here in P1 and he wants to be interviewed as a first place winner tonight at Road America. As right now, once again, both cars throwing it everything, throwing it in the corner, having so much trust in that car. I mean, with 5 laps to go right now, time will tell. What does Clint Halterman have? As we can only imagine how much time left he has on those reds, just gunning it for Jake Cummings.
Yeah, we're getting that live onboard shot in Clint Halterman's house right now. You can see the concentration on his face as he is working his way around this racetrack. He ain't even blinking. He's got it focused, fully locked in.
That's
both
a man on
drivers on the push to pass up the hill, both Cummings and Halterman using that overtake. Cummings to defend, Halterman to try and make the move. He's going to get right up to the bumper. He'll take a peek on the inside, but he's not close enough, and it'll pull back in with 4 to go.
Oh, and you saw what a beautiful... I mean, I don't know if it was a little bit late there for Jake Cummings to pull that defense on the inside, but well-timed there, because at that point, it was already... They were getting too close to the corner, and Clint Halterman knew he had to back off, or else them both were going to go into the catch fence. But right now, as we see, with 4 laps to go, I should say, as right now Lucas Moody trying to get on the attack, I believe with Jason Wallet right now, but I believe it's Ricky Paz with David Da Silva, as right now Ricky trying to make the pass on David for P4. As we see right now, the 19 trying to hunt down the 25, but time will tell right now, as they're both just going everywhere, trying to make it work and trying to make it stick, as Ricky trying to make it a top 4 potentially for tonight.
Yeah, you got these drivers still on the push to pass. 2 left for Jake Cummings, 3 left for Clint Halterman in this battle for the lead. Edwin Onofre, who's kind of back in that final podium spot right now in 3rd after the demise of Ryan Whitlock, has 6 left to try and hold off David Da Silva if he can maybe make a run back up to him. You see that's Edwin Onofre working around right now, and I believe that is a lap car. I think that's Andrew Burrell behind him right now.
Yes,
David Da Silva 6 seconds back under threat from Ricky Paz, and Cummings is using the push to passes. Halterman's got the gap under 2/10. They might be side by side up here for Clint for the lead.
Right
Here
now,
we go. Clint Halterman to the outside on Jake Cummings. They're going down the front straightaway, but he can't get there. That turn 1 seemed to be the main passing zone. They can't get there. Cummings is through the grass off the corner. Halterman's loose, but he still can't make the move stick.
I gotta mention this really quickly. It looks like he did it again, where he pinched him, but this time didn't wreck him like he did with, unfortunately, with David Da Silva. With Ryan Whitlock. But as we saw down into turn 1, Jake Cummings pinching him on the outside, and that caused Clint Halterman to have to brake a little bit earlier. But one thing to note, folks, they've been going, as Clint Halterman slides through the corner, them tires are done. Looks like he's now down a second behind Jake Cummings. As Jake Cummings, he's looking behind his mirror, thinking, yes, keep going, keep swirling it around and drifting around the corners, because he's killing his tires and momentum. But one thing to note is the off track. We see these drivers hitting the grass, and remember, in iRacing, there is a penalty for going off-road too many times, and right now it looks like Jake Cummings is almost I think 2 points away from getting a penalty here in terms of going off-road.
Another thing to watch for as we head to the end of this race, because Clinton Halterman's lost a lot of ground. He's gotten kind of all bent out of shape here, and he's lost a second. And with those tires, I can't imagine how much they are overheated, how much he's struggling to get pace out of them. He's used everything he has to get around Jake Cummings, and he hasn't been able to do it. And as we head through this line to make it 2 to go, it's a 1.2 second gap from Clint Halterman, and he's not even close enough to really pressure Jake Cummings into making that mistake, as we have a car missing a wing there.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but I gotta mention this. It looks like Dylan had made contact with Ricky as, it looks like it was a terrible going back on track moment here as Ricky Paz was going down the corner, and it looked like Dylan there he is in front. He was on the track, and he absolutely parked that thing. I don't think you can park there, Dylan. That was a not so smart move, and Ricky is gonna have as the FC director, he's gonna have a long talk with him after the race. As we see right here, it looks like he was trying to make a move on the inside. He loses it, and he hits the wall hard. But looks like he gassed it up, trying to go back on the track, and then he spun it again, trying to get around. And Ricky, unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time. And oh man, for his debut, I don't think that's gonna be something you want to look at. He's still on the track. That was a replay, but as once again for his debut, that's rough. I mean, Sky, what do you think of that?
That, I believe, will lead to a bit of what the stewards like to call unsolicited driving advice in his DMs here in a couple days. I can assure you of that.
I thought you were gonna say a vacation.
I don't think we're giving out vacations in the preseason. Otherwise, I would have gotten one after that Cup race.
Oh, well, folks, if you guys wanted to know what he was talking about, y'all should tune in on Mondays, but we'll talk about that later after the race. And right now, Nicholas Pantanella, I'm so sorry, we're hitting the white flag. It is 1 to go here for the CIL FC Clash. It looks like Jake Cummings has hit the white flag. Clint Halterman still a second away. And right now, it is going to be just really almost less than a mile around the course here for Jake Cummings to get his P1.
Yeah, I mean, all he's got to do is drive safe now, not go flying off the track and get an off-track penalty, and he should be good. Those tires on Clint Halterman's car are screaming for help after the last 5 laps of that relentless assault, but he couldn't make the move happen. Jake Cummings defended well against him and absolutely murdered Ryan Whitlock in the process, and that's gotten him out front here in the lead, and with only half a lap to go, it's going to take something of his own doing to stop him from taking the checkered flag here tonight.
I would say murder is a little bit of a strong word, but right now, Jake Cummings coming around the final few quarters. I mean, yeah, it's got to be the biggest commentator's curse right now to take out Jake Cummings, but I don't think that's going to happen. As right now, Clint Halterman absolutely just driving it right on the edge of the grass, trying to get something out of his car, but I don't think he's going to be there. 1.5 seconds is right now the difference between first and second, with David Da Silva currently in the back for P3. That's right now, down through the S's, going down into turn 12, I should say, as Jake Cummings.
Yeah, they're heading down here. It's Jake Cummings still in the lead.
But right now,
a little bit more to go for Jake Cummings.
Turn 14, and for the final time tonight at Road America for our opening race of the CIL Formula College Series, it's going to be Jake Cummings of Converse University to win at Road America, followed by P2, Clint Halterman of UNC Charlotte. And behind him is going to be David Da Silva, rounding about turn 14, going up the hill. He's going to secure P3. And I wanted to say this right now, Sky. It looks like over the radio, Jake Cummings expressing his apologies and mentioning that he will talk to the drivers he had incidents with the race, and with Jason Wallet for Drexel University, P4, a strong race for him, and Lucas Moody in P5 for Ball State University, the best Ball State University finisher for tonight, with John LaFont making his Formula College debut for a P6. What a great what a great drive, John, for him tonight. With P7, it's going to be Alex Fernety for the 321, and with Edwin Following up in P8, Nick Stockner in P9, and look like it's going to be Ricky Paz in P10. And it looks like Edwin is going to be pushed. Is this legal on the final lap?
I guess so. Someone's trying to get him to the line. That might be, is that Andrew Burrow back there, or is that someone else? I'm not 100% sure.
Looks like Nick
but
Stockner.
It's Ethan Decatur,
Ethan.
a lap down. It's a battle to the line for 9th, and I think it's going to be an Onofre.
And it's going to be Edwin Onofre. He's going to get P9.
Oh, no.
Ricky Paz in P10.
Yeah,
I
you
think
can get it.
I think it's a lap down, but regardless, what a push to the end. That is what you call true sportsmanship. And that is about round our top 10. And of course, if this is a points paying race, that is what our points be. But if it's going to be Jake Cummings getting P1, Glenn Halterman in P2, and David De Silva is in P3. And so we're going to be going into a small commercial break here, as right now the drivers are currently going into the drivers cooldown room, or I should say cooldown lap, and we're going to be discussing right now about the current events happening on the track. We'll be right back for a short break.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Here we'll tell you our results for tonight's race. Pulling up the final finishing order here for these drivers. Winner tonight, pending a penalty report that I imagine will be decently long, will be Jake Cummings of Converse University. First race for that new school and first win for that new school. Clint Halterman of UNC Charlotte tried his best, but he couldn't get there. He'll bring it home second. And David De Silva of Montclair State University, third on debut. Jason Wallet of Drexel will take fourth, and Lucas Moody of Ball State will round out our top 5 here.
Following up in P6 is John LaFawn for Pennsylvania College of Technology for his debut. That's a strong showing, so we're going to have to look out for John throughout the whole rest of the semester. As well as Alex from UNC Charlotte in P7, another debut, an amazing result. Followed by Nick Stockner from P22 on that last restart to P8 for Clemson University. That is a strong drive for him. Great, congrats. For P9, Edwin Onofre for University of North Texas, another strong drive. Unfortunately, he got caught up with a few mistakes here and there. And followed by him is Ricky Paz, as we saw what happened with him and that late incident, unfortunately, for East Carolina University, able to round about a top 10.
Yeah, it's Ryan Whitlock for the University of Alabama Huntsville after that accident takes it home in 11th. Alexander Diamond, the undercut, not quite working out for him. He'll take 12th. Ethan Decatur of Valparaiso, who you saw pushing Onofre to the line after he ran out of gas, he'll bring it home 13th. Andrew Burrow of Clemson will finish this race in 14th, and Nicholas Patinella comes back from crashing on lap 1 to finish 15th.
I was going to mention, I saw Nicholas Patinella. He's in the back over there, wrecked out, but he came back through strong. Dylan in the 13th with number 16 for Ball State University, his debut, but unfortunately, you saw his not so safe rejoin of the track. Unfortunately, will end up in P16, followed by Mark Turek for Midwest. He also had a strong drive. He was one of the Seattle biggest movers, but unfortunately, it seemed like he got off track and hit the wall. Nick Henley for P18 for Boston University. His debut also not too shabby for him, but once again, out of the points hypothetically in P18. Aiken Lamar, unfortunately for Howard Community College, is going to be in P19 with a lap down. And as we saw, Drew Williams out of the race and contention for Clemson University and P20.
And that takes us down to our final three finishers. Our Muhammad Ali, who had a really, really good shot to win this race, will finish 21st. Jordan Johnson, our other real contender coming into this race, will finish 22nd. And Zach Lindler, who killed it on the first lap, is 23rd. That'll round out our finishing order for tonight. And we're going to get the drivers up here in the booth for a bit of an interview. We've got them waiting and ready, and we are going to call in our winner tonight, Jake Cummings. He's getting ready. We're bringing him up in the elevator.
Right now, he just did a roundabout lap, and right now he is celebrating with the team, but he's going to come with us to interview. I mean, Sky, you know this man loves to talk, so we'll see if we'll get a new record with them in this interview.
We're beating your 45-minute interview from last season. I don't think we're gonna beat that. I'll leave if we beat that. I gotta do homework.
15 over and under. We'll see. Us right now. We're gonna pull in Jake Cummings to the booth.
Hi, Jake.
Hey, Jake Cummings for Converse University on his debut as a student driver once again, and representing Converse University for his debut of the Formula College CIL. Jake, congrats on the win, buddy. You already know how controversial tonight was. I mean, last time you spoke a lot, but I got the notes here, buddy. We gotta keep it short and sweet. But talk to me, man.
Yeah, I know you hate hearing my
I
voice.
love you. No. But talk to me.
I'm looking at like the little things that happened during the race now, and this is my first race in these cars. It was a really big challenge to adapt to all the tire wear. It was a lot more than I was expecting, even though I watch real IndyCar all the time. But it was a lot of fun. I'm not really sure what happened to Muhammad at his pit stop or whatever, but he definitely would have been a really good pick for the win if it wasn't for whatever issues he had. With Ryan, I'm looking at it now. That might be my fault, honestly. I did move a little bit, not intentionally, but anyway, it's a weird contact system with these cars, so that's unfortunate. But anyways, it's good to pick up the win in my first FC race for Converse University, even if it is just preseason. I had a lot of fun. I'm in the wrong merch right now, but I needed to put a shirt on. I wasn't wearing one. It was so hot in my apartment. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, learned a lot. I'm really excited for the upcoming season.
Yeah, tell us about first win for the new school there. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was going to get it back on Monday with the clash, but then it did clash things, as you all saw. Just pit at the wrong time. But I was thinking I'd be pretty fast. I did a few laps practice beforehand, and I was feeling pretty good about it. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be second, so I was faster than I was expecting. With my limited practice, and then getting the lead off of Muhammad off the start was critical with him being on the primaries. Yeah, I'm still not sure what happened to him, but it was good racing. The caution helped as well, so I didn't have to worry about it further than that. Yeah, a lot of hard chargers there at the end. More people were on alternates on their last stint than I thought would be, and they were coming like crazy, and it took a lot to defend from them, but I mean, it might have been a bit iffy on a few points, but we managed to bring it home, and in the preseason race, that's all that really matters. But the real season and the real mission starts next week with every single league.
Of course, I mean, yeah, it was very surprising to see you up there with a Leaf and P2 qualifying. So currently doing really good in qualifying. Race, I mean, this was a non-points paying race, but we'll definitely see how this all turns out when you're going wheel to wheel with the Leaf, because that was a fun race. So thank you so much for racing tonight, and thank you so much for putting on a show. Congrats on P1, buddy. Proud of you, and see you in the next one.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a great night. Thanks for the broadcast.
Mm-hmm. And so right now, that was our P1 runner, Jake Cummings, winning it out here at Road America. And let's pull up our P2 Clint Halterman from UNCC. Clint Halterman, welcome to the booth. You are P2 of the night. We saw you. Man doesn't even blink. You were so focused and locked in. Talk to me. How does it feel to get P2 tonight?
I want a P1, man. I thought I had the pace. I had the better tires than Jake. I was a lot faster. And I finally got up to him. I tried to make a few passes, and I think I just got over ambitious in my overtake attempts, and then it just my tires were gone. It's just yeah. I mean, P2 is cool, but I thought I had P1. Especially after I thought it was gonna be a battle between me and Whitlock, and after he went off the track, I thought it was gonna be my race to lose there. And I also had a brief gravel stint coming out of the pits on cold tires. So yeah, I'm just making excuses now. But but yeah, I'm just second sucks, as they say.
I get it, man. P1 is the best. P3 is great, and then P2, it's not P1.
Mm-hmm.
Guy,
Kind of tell us about those tires, because we saw a lot of cars make really good ground over the first like 5 or 6 laps on those tires, and then as you got further into the run, they started to fall off, and you kind of fell back from the leader there. Tell us how those tires worked and what they added to this race.
Yeah, I first off just love the IndyCar in general, just the way it drives. It's just super fun to drive on these road courses. But I love the tires on this thing. Just the 2 different tire compounds really add a huge strategy element. And I think we saw that at the beginning where Jake and David really pulled away from me and Alif. Me and Alif were on blacks, they were on reds. They started to really pull away, but towards the end of that stint, I think Alif and I were really starting to catch up, really starting to make up some ground on them. And that's I don't know what I was banking on. That's why I went as long as I could. I know as the fuel starts to burn off on those black tires, they just get better and better and better. And that was kind of my whole strategy. And that safety car kind of helped because I really didn't want to run that many laps on the reds, especially at a long track and a high tire day track like Road America is. So yeah, the first couple laps, like the first lap was really bad because the tires were stone cold. It was really just trying to be patient, get them up to temp, and then once it got up to temp, it was like being Superman out there. They were so much faster than the guys in the blacks, and like I said, I think that's the challenging thing too with the reds, and it's the cool thing. It's like you got to manage them because they do fall off. I don't think there's really any other road course tire on iRacing that falls off like the reds do on the IndyCar. So yeah, I think that's definitely something I'll take away from this, is that I think I got a little too wrapped up in trying to run everybody down, that I burnt my stuff up a little too much, pushed a little too hard. Definitely need to be nicer and gentler to the red tires for once the season starts.
I mean, that is the point of the clash, to really set the mindset and give everybody a chance to see how they can fare about with these, well, I should say tire strategies in car. So great job on P2. And as I was gonna say, you said it right, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, that was incredibly difficult under those hearts. But congrats on P2, buddy. See you in the next one.
All right, thank you guys.
And for our P3 to round about the podium is our one and only David Da Silva, who was at one point contending for the lead, but unfortunately got a little squirrely, but ended up on P3, so a great recovery. So let's bring him up here. David Da Silva, welcome to the booth. How is it P3 for your debut, man? I mean, like, you were up there contending for the lead, you had a little hiccup, but it must feel good that you really scraped it together and got a P3.
Yeah, it was a very good race, actually. I mean, obviously, I don't remember what lap it was, but I had that little incident going up into Canada corner trying to catch up to Jake there. But I'm glad that I was able to salvage that, and it's a great group of guys. I thought that, going into this, I saw a bunch of people's iRatings, and they were all pretty high compared to mine. And, I thought I'd get smoked, but I was glad that I was able to contend there with a bunch of those guys for the entire first stint, and then hold on to it.
Yeah, we've got a new car for this series. It was the Super Formula last semester, and we've switched it over to the IndyCar. So it's not new just to you. It's new to kind of everybody in this field. Do you think that might play into your advantage a bit as the season goes on with maybe, not everyone having experience in this car?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's it's a very new car for a lot of people. I myself have done quite a few leagues in the past with this car, so I definitely think to some extent I'll have a little experience advantage there. Going wheel to wheel and tire strategy, definitely that played a part today, as the red tire was gone after 4 laps, and it just really shows that it's a lot about experience, and these guys, there's a very great range of experience on this track, and I am excited for the rest of the season, to race against these guys, see what happens in some of these road courses, and the ovals.
Of course, I mean, I want to say for everybody here, we say welcome to the CIL. I mean, congratulations on your debut for the FCCIL. And I mean, just like what Sky said, everyone's new, everyone's getting in on this at the same time with these Indy cars. So it's a great time to join us. And I mean, what a run for you there at the end. Luckily, like you said, you got it together. You made it to P3, and so we're definitely gonna be looking out for you for the rest of the semester. I mean, you set the bar now, so gotta keep it going. So good luck
Yep.
with that, and glad you had a great time tonight. And hopefully, I see you in the booth next week then.
Alrighty.
Well, folks, that was our P3 David Da Silva with a run of his life, because of course we saw him have a little bit of moments here and there, but being able to just come back and bounce back to P3 for his debut, I mean, Sky, what better of a rookie like storyline than this?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great start to his CIL and his college career, and hopefully he can keep that momentum going, not just for this race, but for the rest of the season coming up as well.
Well, it looks like it is that time where we must say our unfortunate farewells to the viewers, to the audience. If you guys have enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button if you aren't already, and hit that like button, because we wouldn't be here without these folks, these amazing drivers, this amazing production team, but the fans, because you guys are the ones who we do this for. We put on the show. All these college drivers, they do this to put on the best iRacing, the best Collegiate iRacing league you will ever see anywhere else on this platform. And with that being said, I mean, Sky, let's go over with the schedule, because I mean, what are we gonna do next week? What's gonna be on the CIL channel?
Some more CIL coming up. We've got our first points race of the season for the Cup Series at Talladega, which is going to be... Well, I know it's what you're excited for because you're a plate racer, but this is going to be a race and a half. I think I'm going to probably adopt the strategy of drive dead last until about 5 to go, because it is going to be absolute chaos. Formula College will hopefully be less chaos next week as we head into our first points race of the season at Laguna Seca. First road course of the season, 1 of 8 on the schedule, and it will be a good time, as races at Laguna Seca always tend to be. And the Collegiate Sports Car Challenge will be out in full force next week on the 5th, September 5th, with their clash at the Charlotte Roval. That's actually an endurance series. You might see some colleges teaming up in that series to put on 2 drivers in 1 car and put on a show through those 2-hour races. I believe the clash is only about 45 minutes. It's going to be shorter than most races in this series. It's 30 minutes. So we probably won't see driver swaps in that race. Once we start the actual points racing, you'll get a lot of fun driver swaps and a lot of fun college combinations coming out of that endurance series. And that takes us to the end of our broadcast tonight. Edward, you got anything else you want to say?
I mean, if you guys haven't been subscribed already, I mean, why aren't you guys? Because if you don't subscribe now, you will get a 4X in your next iRacing official race. It's not my fault. It's part of the script. I wrote the script. That's how it's gonna be. But I mean, yeah, please, guys, you guys have to tune in for our other streams with the CIL Cup Series next week. Talladega. I mean, like Sky said, you know, you can stay in the back, but you'll see me up front with the Brewer collars, number 26 Brewer Chevy Camaro. I had to plug it in there. But of course, I was gonna say shout out to Sky for joining us today, and also being with us for the hopefully for the entire season of the CIL FC. So you're gonna be seeing us quite a lot. Of course, anything happens, it wasn't me. All I'm gonna say is
break my ankles or something.
What? No,
I don't need a leg cast like you had.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. But listen, I was gonna say, follow on our socials at FaneKey479 down there, and follow at Cure All My. I'm so sorry, Scott. How do you pronounce
What are those? Cure All Me. That's for my YouTube channel that I am sponsoring the race at Kansas with. I also have Sky Racer, which is like where I tweet about racing.
Exactly. So with that, thank you everybody for tuning in for the Clash at FC CIL. Next week is gonna be the real start of the season with the points. But once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your week. Take care.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.